Let's talk about those markets now. We've got David Shapiro standing by. He's from Sasfin Securities. Good evening to you, David. And the markets, what did you make of today's movements? I mean, throughout the week, the JSE has been on a losing streak. Not too great yesterday in particular, after that 9.1% inflation number came through from the United States. Your thoughts on today's movements?
Well, I wanted to call in sick, but you wouldn't let me. So I've had to suffer and endure what we've gone through. Rafiwa, it's been a very difficult time for us because of that inflation number that came through in the US. The debate now is whether Fed Powell will increase rates by 0.75% or 1%. And there are a lot of calls now for 1%. In fact, the market's pricing that in. And because of that, because of the 1%, it's starting to draw more money into US markets, bond markets or fixed interest markets, mainly at the low end of it, up to 2 years. And that's making the dollar stronger, but it's also creating a lot of concerns about where the global economy is going. And we also had some results out from two big banks, JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley, which underperformed or did not meet analysts' expectations. Last year was a very good year for these banks as they reversed a lot of provisions. This year they're making provisions, and also they reflect the inactivity of the economy. So a lot that we're going through, and that's reflected on the market, and it's reflected on our market mainly in commodity shares, where commodity prices have come down dramatically from those lofty levels that we saw when Russia invaded the Ukraine. And we thought that there'd be a shortage of certain minerals and that. Even oil's come down. Even Brent is now well below 100. With we thought at this stage it would be $135, $140 and that. So just gives you an idea of how fast things have changed around.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you talk about the price of Brent, and that is what I wanted to chat to you about next, in that it was trading at around $96 a barrel. I mean, that is good news for net importers like ourselves. But I wonder if it's also largely on the back of those global recession fears and the amount of a supply that could find itself in the global market.
Well, that's exactly. We were all bracing ourselves for shortages in supply, mainly because of cutting off Russia. Look, natural gas prices are still up, but oil's come down. Where the balancing pact is that the rand is 17.20. So what we're making on one end, we're giving away on the other end of that. So 17.20 is not where we wanted to be, and it makes things very, very difficult. It helps our other exporters, but I think that from the oil point of view, it does kind of leave the oil price in high levels. But overall, we've seen big falls in the platinum price. Gold is down almost at 1,700 again as well. So and iron ore back to 100. So we've seen some big cracks in metal prices, and that. The good news is it does point towards lower inflation down the line. A couple of months from now, these prices have to reflect on some of the inflation numbers.
Yeah, that's actually good news. Thinking 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, seeing a little bit less inflation. Finally, David, before we let you go, let's talk about Pan-African Resources. They're releasing a production update today. Really impressive amount of production that they were able to record. Your thoughts on this particular stock and what was reflected in their numbers?
That's I wish I could understand a lot of the mining reports that come out, but it's lots of numbers that you need a mining analyst to interpret. So, but I've always liked Pan-African, so you have to appreciate this is a very neat, good operation. And I think the share was barely down. I think about 3 cents or something like that, which reflects what the market thinks of it. So next time I'm going to have to take out my spreadsheet and try and understand all the kind of different reports that come out of mining production numbers. But a good operation. I think what you say is correct. Under these circumstances, very, very good numbers.
I'm going to go let you start on those spreadsheets right this instant. So when we chat next week, you'll be ready. Okay, David Shapiro from Sasfin Securities joining us this evening to talk through the markets day that was.